Hello children, here in this video lecture I will brief you about data interpretation, can call it also data analysis. What is data analysis or interpretation? Data interpretation is the process of assigning meaning to the collected information and determining the conclusions, significance and implications of the findings. The goal of interpretation of data is to highlight useful information and suggest conclusions. Data interpretation means explaining with reference to the facts, figures, etc. provided. The data could be in the form of a table, graph, percentage, pie chart, histogram, etc. It involves translating data from one form to another. Data given should be interpreted and formed into paragraph of 100 words. The paragraph should be formal and relevant. So, in any form, collection of data is given, picture presentation, you need to write in verbal form of the given data. Strategies here are for interpreting data. Read the rubrics carefully, means the given details carefully. Understand the topic that is being dealt with, means what is the topic, about what you have to write. Read it carefully. Carefully study the trends, figures, information that are given for interpretation or analysis. Whatever the format of the presentation, you need to understand that, and then you have to interpret it in proper way. You may be required to use phrases like declining, sudden, increase, gradual changes, etc. to show change in pattern or trends. To show a contrast, you may use phrases like on the other hand, on the contrary, in contrast, etc. As per the data, children, you can use phrases like if the graph is declining, so you have to use word declining. If it is a sudden increase from one year to another year, so you can mention that thing. So you can use words like this, as well as when you compare data of any 2 year or any two items based on your presentation, based on your question. So you can use words like on the other hand, on the contrary, in contrast, etc. To show similarity in pattern, trends, you may use words, phrases like similarity, simultaneously, like, etc. If the percentage or data of two things are same. Remember to use comparative and superlative degree of adjectives whenever required. Example, the highest temperature recorded this year is, means if you use degree, then your language would be very nice and impressive. Further, give a brief introduction and conclusion. Means in first line you have to write an introduction about what that data is, and in the ending you have to write conclusion. Be concise, clear and logical in your writing. Means need not to write the same idea again and again. You have to write in short whatever you wish to say. Avoid repetition of words and information. Maintain grammatical accuracy. Be careful about punctuation, subject verb agreement and articles. Grammatical errors are not entertained in your answer. So you have to be very careful while framing your question. Keep to the word limit. This is most important. If you have to write 8 to 10 sentences, 9 to 10 sentences or 100 words, means you have to write in the given limit only. You do not have to write your interpretation in more than 100 words, means 150 words and 200 words are not allowed. So here is example 1. Arohi conducted a survey to find out how teenagers spend their free time. Based on the findings given below, write a short composition titled Teenager and Their Pursuits along with your ideas and conclusion in 100 words. Here, Arohi has collected a data uh, about the nature of activity of teenagers and how much time they spend. That data is given here in a tabular form. So read it carefully, and in next slide I have given answer of example 1. The same data I have given here in paragraph form. I have written here the survey which was conducted recently presents a gloomy picture. Since teenagers 40% are spending their maximum time glued to the idiot box watching serials which are harmful. Sports appear to have taken a backseat since only 10% are watching sports and only 5% are playing outdoors. Maybe due to lack of playgrounds, hardly any spare time kept for creative pursuits and hobbies. The craze is to talk to friends to talk on mobile, and the silver lining is that at least 25% teenagers are reading books, newspapers, and are utilizing their time meaningfully. In this way, I have used here percentage given and activities in a sentence form in this answer. Second question, second example is given of a pie chart which illustrate the internet users aged 16 plus prefer to access the internet at home in other places. We need to summarize here the information in pie chart by selecting the reporting the main features. This pie chart shows us that 33% uh, internet users 16 plus age are on a smartphone. In the same way, 30% on a laptop, on tablet, on desktop computer, and 4% other way. The answer of example 2 is given here only by using words. Here I have not used any numbers. So in this way also you can write. This graph shows the result of a survey in which people aged 16 and over were asked about their preferred devices for accessing the internet. The question referred to going online at home in other places. Participant mentioned four main devices in their answers: a smartphone, a laptop, a tablet, a desktop computer. From the pie chart, it is clear that the majority of participants prefer to use smartphones and laptops, with just 3% difference between the two. Nearly a third of participants prefer to go online with smartphone, 30% like to use laptop. A desktop computer accounts for 14% of users' preferred devices. Only a small minority prefer a device other than these main four. In conclusion, since mobile and portable devices are the most popular choices, it is clear that many participants are accessing the internet outside their homes. The desktop computer is the least popular of the four main devices. In future, we can probably expect to see more and more people accessing the internet with smartphones as their preferred choice. So, here I have used words only, not a numericals. Now here I have given bar graph. In example 3, in a recent survey held in 100 schools aiming to find the best pencil brands preferred by the students, the following bar chart was deduced and analyze the finding and complete the paragraph in short. So in this way also data interpretation may come. Here I have written in very brief, out of more than 3 dozen brands of pencil available in the market, 4 brands namely A, B, C and D are the most popular ones. Pencils are an important part of student stationery items, and the popularity of brand B pencils outshines every other available brand as it occupies more than half of the pencil market. One-fifth of the students favor brand D, followed by brand A, while brand C comes last in the stationery list of the students. So in this way, you can write your answers. Example 4. The graph below shows how people buy music summarize the information by selecting and reporting the main features and make comparisons where relevant. Write short paragraph about it. Here is the example of a line graph. Percentage of total music sales by the method is given here. Streams, downloads and CDs purchased. Let's read it answer. Again in this answer, I have mentioned here as well as numbers in numerical form. The graph illustrates trends in music buying habits between 2011 and 2018. It represents three different methods: streaming, downloading, and buying CDs. Overall, both downloads and physical sales of music have steadily declined. The latter has slumped since 2011, while the downturn for the former began in 2014. However, there has been a sharp rise in people streaming music since 2013. In 2011, the majority of music sales were of CDs at 55% of all sales. In contrast, streaming was not common at all, only 5%. Also, although people had started to download music, it only presented 35% of sales. As sales of CDs began to fall, downloads started to rise. They rose steadily and downloads overtook physical sales in mid 2013. During the same period, streaming doubled to 10%, but then it started to grow more dramatically. Downloads peaked in 2014 at about 43% of sales but fell to 30% by 2018. This was slightly higher than physical sales, which ranked to 25%. Streaming, on the other hand, overtook both of them and accounted for just over 40% of sales in 2018. So, in this way, you can write answers. For more practice, I have given here the information uh, in a hierarchical form. You have to read the information and interpret it in 9 to 10 sentences. Now, question 2 is again a line graph. You have to interpret this question about the increase in violence and social unrest in your area. You have to interpret this data, as well as one more I have given here. It is a pie chart showing the number of school children who lost their lives in road accidents in the first half of the last year. You have to interpret this data, study it carefully, and based on the given example, you can write all these answers. Children, you need to copy all these slides in your notebook so you can refer it whenever you need and you can interpret any data. Thank you.